Hey, folks. Dave here on it's a chilly Saturday night here in mid-May. We got rid of the snow, but holy cow, it just won't warm up. My fingers are cold. I just put on a sweatshirt and turned on the heat, and wanted to come on and say hi to people tonight. And something I wanted to talk about tonight. I was just going to do a generic chat, and we can talk about anything you want. But what I wanted to talk about tonight was playing for your health. And we're all getting old, and we've all had health problems of one kind or another, or know people that have. And, you know, the stresses of everyday life and things like that. So sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I think about what I'm going to be playing, it it relaxes me. It puts me in a good place. And I don't know if if you guys have that at all. Yourself. Let me just fix my sweatshirt here. And I say that like, so sometimes I'll be at work and it gets stressful, and I run the hockey leagues and people are yelling at you and screaming at you, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't wait to go home and open that package from app, or I can't wait to go, read the directions for this new game, things like that. And what I was doing today is John stops by. John, thank you so much, and again, thank you to I pleasantly surprised at the support I got. I opened up memberships here on the channel. Someone recommended I do that, and I did, and I'm just wow, the support has been great. I just can't believe how many people are supporting the channel. So I want to say thank you so much for that. But what I was doing today, okay, I'm at the rink and I have my iPad because that's how I score the games. But I can also do other things on the iPad. So luckily I didn't have to referee today or play, and I was just kind of running the games, and things were kind of going okay. But guys were yelling and screaming as they do. And so what I did is I popped up here. I went to the Apple webpage, and what I did completely relaxed me, and it took me out of the moment of the screaming and yelling and the chaos, and threw me immediately into a happy place. Okay. And so what I did is I pulled up the 1975 football roster that's on the Apple website, and I started flicking through the teams and writing down teams that I wanted to play. Okay. And instantly I went to the happy place, and my blood pressure came down, and I wasn't as mad, and I wasn't, I just went to a better place. And I don't know if that works for you guys or not. And then even tonight I come home and I played the uh action PC football. And it was a blowout for a while, and then the team came back. But I was having so much fun with that. And I had fun with that last night. And just so many fun games to play. And I was in my moment. And the one thing that people have been saying lately, Ron said it to me, and some other people have said, it's like, boy, I'm watching you do the videos here, and you just seem to be having such a good time playing these games. And with all the things going on with me health wise and with the wife health wise, yeah, these games have been a wicked outlet for me to just find a happy place and go there and just enjoy the game for a while. I really have. So, as Keith stops by as well, thanks for coming by. Oh, do you know what I need to do? I need to go and I don't like that. I like the classic. So when I put up the comments, it's a little bit bigger. I like the bigger ones there. I had the bubble up there for something else earlier, and they say retail therapy is a real thing, or cards and dice therapy is a real thing too. And even the computer game I was playing, the action PC, was still therapy. And so what I did today, let me show you what I did today. So I went, and let me put this back on the screen. So what I did is I went to this website, and I'm looking around at 1975, and as you know, I picked that up as Ron gave me a gift certificate, so I used it towards this season for a birthday present. And so I'm like, okay, let me look at this. What do I want to do here? So I go, well, I would like to play Baltimore, and I want to play Burt Jones. Okay, see Burt Jones here on the screen. Okay. I want to play Burt Jones. Okay. I like Burt Jones. Uh, say what you will, but a little OJ Simpson here for Buffalo. He had a great couple of seasons in the early to mid 70s. That might be fun to play some OJ Simpson. And then I scroll down here, and again, I'm really looking at the offense right now. And I am definitely going to play some Staubach. Okay. I mean, look at the names: Drew Pearson, Golden Richards, um, Preston Pearson, Robert Newhouse, Scott Laidlaw. I mean, this is so many great names on this team that I want to play. And I know I have 76, but still 75. There's something about 75 before the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. There's something. This was the first season I really started watching football. I remember the Super Bowl. I remember rooting for the Cowboys, and they lost. And I was like, oh well, But I was just a kid. But this is one of the first seasons I remember watching, so that's why I got it. And then I want to come over here, and I'm looking. I go, well, I don't really know much about Detroit or Green Bay, but Houston, yeah, you got to play Dan Pastorini. You know, uh, Billy White Shoes Johnson, Kenny Burrow, they're all on this team over here. Fun teams to play. And here's another one, Kansas City. Now I know Al was just playing his Mike Livingston Kansas City Chiefs on his channel, but Len Dawson. All right, it's his last season, and this is the big reason I went with 75 because I want to play Len Dawson. I do, and he started some games. And what's going to be fun is I went down. Another thing I did today is I went to Pro Football Reference, and I'm looking at who started and who didn't because I like to play backup goalies when I play hockey sometimes. Well, I want to play backup quarterbacks, but I don't want to play someone that just played a couple of snaps. I want to, if someone started a game, I'm going to start a game. So Len Dawson actually started 4 or 5 games this season, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of reality to have him start a game. So I'm playing some Lenny Dawson today. Okay, or soon. So I'm planning on playing some Kansas City Chiefs so I can play Len Dawson. And then I look over here and I got Ron Jaworski, another favorite quarterback of mine, playing over here on the Rams. So I'm like, Harold Jackson's on the team over here and Cullen Bryant. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to play some Rams. And I'm going to have Jaworski maybe play Len Dawson. I think that would be great. Earl Morrall is on the Dolphins. I didn't know he played for the Dolphins, but I think he started a game or two. So we're going to have, we're going to play some games with Earl Morrall. Jim Plunkett over here in the Patriots. I think it's his last season in New England before Grogan took over full time. He played. So we're going to play some Jim Plunkett. And I'm going down the list of things here, and I'm saying, I'm just having, I'm just in my moment right now. I'm going between the Apple website and Pro Strategy, Pro Football Reference, and I'm looking and I'm like, I want to play this guy, and I want to play this guy. And I don't think I'll play the full 75 season. I'm doing the full 78 season, and it's going to take me a long time, but I'm enjoying just chipping away at that. But I bought 75 because I want to play some teams and I want to play some players. And I'm going down my list and I'm making sure that they started a game so I can say, okay, at least they started a game so I can have Jaworski maybe take on Len Dawson or somebody like that. Earl Morrall playing for the Dolphins, and just play a project, just to play the game and get the cards on the table and enjoy it, and just like I did with my 68 Super Bowl when I played the Jets and the Colts there. And I don't know much about that season at all. I know Namath and the quarterbacks that were in the game, but it was just fun and relaxing, and there was no pressure to do it, and so for me, I went to a happy place today, and it was so good for my health. It brought my blood pressure down, and it got me. So when all the bad things are happening, and yelling and screaming or whatever it is, and it gets intense at the rink. It just does. And then I come home and the wife's like coughing, and she's like, we went to the emergency room Sunday night, and it's like she just can't figure out why she can't stop coughing. And so, like, all this stuff's happening, and then, you got to take care of the serious stuff. But I went to my happy place, and then I come home, and I'm pulling out the 75 cards. I'm like, okay, who do I want to play first? What team am I going to play first here? Do I want to play Dawson and the Chiefs or Jaworski and the Rams? And and I ended up just pulling out Action PC and playing a game from week 2 in that season from 1979, and that was just as good. That was just as good as pulling out the cards and dice and setting that up. And it just put me in a good mood, and I had a blast today looking at the guys I'm gonna play, because sometimes anticipation of playing the games is just as fun as playing them, because you just like, it's like I say, starting new projects is almost better than playing the project, because that's anticipation. It's like Christmas morning as a kid. Oh man, I can't wait for Christmas morning. And that's kind of how it is with these games with me. Is I'm like, oh man, look at all these guys I'm going to play. This is awesome. This is great. I can't wait to do this. And it's good mental health, and it helps you deal with the stresses of everyday life. And so, I come home, the wife's okay, and she's just frustrated because she can't stop coughing. And, I got my own issues I'm dealing with. But, the best thing you can do for yourself is, what do they say? The number one killer is stress. Stress just wrecks your body. And we all have it, because I'm a worrier. I've always been a worrier. And so we all have it, but but if you can eliminate that as much as you can, and I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but eliminating stress is a huge deal. It really is. It's all part of life. I remember it wasn't that long ago. It was before we started the show, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I got my office right next to me here. That's where I do my work. And I was so wound up and so stressed out that I would be getting chest pains. And I remember calling the doctor, and they're like, get to the emergency room right now. And I get to the emergency room, and they check me out and they stress test me, and they're like, no, you're fine. You're stressed out. Go home. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be stressed out like this and be going to the emergency room every couple of weeks because I'm getting pressure in my chest. And so I changed some things. I get rid of drinking coffee. I get rid of drinking caffeinated diet soda, and that took away a lot of the the caffeine gets rid of all that stuff. And then I ended up I started just to just relax about things. Like when my car breaks down, I would flip out because I need my car for work, and I'm like, can't get to work, what am I going to do? And now I'm like, if my car breaks down and I can't get to work, guess what? I don't get to work. We don't play hockey that night. What can I do? And things like that. I've learned it. Maybe that I'm old now. I'm old like you guys. Maybe I've learned to deal with that a little bit better, and I've calmed down a bit. But these games that we play here are a huge, huge part of that. And I'm so lucky to have found this community and found these games and talked to the developers and things like that. And I really just enjoy doing. I love learning new games. I like picking up new seasons. I like playing old games. I like talking to you guys of what you're playing, because as much as you think I push you, right? You guys are thinking, no, I'm the pusher here. You guys push me too. When I look and I see the excitement of you guys playing games, and I was talking to Ron about that. I says, just watching you guys do your thing, it's that gets me going. And Ray's here. Ray's been going through some stress too. I know that, and I don't know how you've been doing. I almost called you this afternoon to see how you were doing there, but um, cutting back on like all the caffeine I drank helped out, but just relaxing. Now I know Raisin does his model trains there, and and the funny thing about the model train thing that he does, and it's not building models, but it's like you have a layout of trains and you run the trains and do the train thing. It's like mirror images what we do with the sports stuff. I mean, they have their trains and their setups are unbelievably how meticulous they are, and then they run them on the track. And that's kind of what we do with the games. We set up our helmets and our batting things and our colors and our dice, and we set up our games, and we play fictional things that make us happy. And so yeah, so that's what's really cool about what we do is just it. I don't know, but it just calms me down. And today when I was going over that 1975 football season, and people are walking by, right? And they see me on the iPad. Oh, what you looking at? And I'm like, 1975 football rosters, and they're like, okay. Because all these kids are in their 20s and 30s, and they're like, I was born in like 1999, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, all right, I get it. It's a Dave thing, it's an old man thing. But it just, playing these games, at least for me, they've been good for my health. They really have been, and they calm me, they relax me. When I'm doing this, okay. Now again, occasionally we'll play and we'll get mad. Let's just not kid around. Occasionally we'll be playing a game and our team's losing or something happens, we get mad. It's rare. Unlike the video games when you're playing, it's like, yeah, that's and this guy killed me, and oh man, controllers getting chucked around. That's how the video games were. This, once in a while, something will tick me off. I'm playing a game. Here we go. Another fumble. Yeah, another strikeout. Another home run. Once in a while it happens. Or maybe I get stuck on a game and it drives me nuts. But for the most part, especially when I settle into a game I'm familiar with, Apple football, Apple hockey, hockey bone, shootout, my the games that I play here that I know pretty well. It's just so relaxing. The other night I played, I forget what I played. I think I played week 1 here, Action PC Football, and then somebody was on YouTube and I was watching them, and I played a game of season ticket baseball and a game of APA baseball back to back, just sitting here relaxing. It's dark here at night. It's quiet. Wife's in bed. Dogs are sleeping. It's quiet time, and I just got to chill out here downstairs. And I'm not out doing anything wrong. I'm not out till midnight, 1 o'clock, running around town or whatever. I'm here, but I'm in 1979 in my mind, and it's just, to me, it's, yeah. So like John says, cards as therapy is real. It really is. When you find a hobby and you enjoy it, and too bad the players can't check them into the ball. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the nature of adult hockey. It's just what we do. Andrew comes by and he says, definitely playing has helped me mentally and physically. It's helped me dealing with continuing the effects of cancer treatment. Yes. And the thing is, I'm not one of these guru guys that sit at the top of the mountain, but I do believe mental health affects your physical health. And when you're worrying all the time, and and that can take a toll on your body. Whereas, when you're in a good place mentally, I think your body heals a little bit better. I just think they go together. Just like I take probiotics all the time. I had a lot of stomach problems, and they're like, take a probiotic, and I take the probiotics, and I don't see the result of it, but they tell me that the flora in the gut is, so now you're healing on the inside as well as the outside. You can put creams and all this stuff on the outside to heal up, but the inside needs to heal too. And so I take vitamins and supplements for that stuff there, and maybe that helps. I think it does. I think that stuff helps. Everything kind of contributes to your overall general health. So I think it does. And so, like Andrew said, playing these games and keeping a good state of mind, that helps with a lot of things. It really does. I mean, it's not gonna to cure everything that everybody has in the world, obviously, but I think it goes a long way towards having some peace of mind and at least doing something you enjoy. And Keith says, watched a good bit of 80 Steelers Oilers playoff. Wow, what if instant replay existed then? Very interesting. Yeah, I think I remember that play too. You know what's weird, Keith? I was watching some videos on YouTube, I think when I get home today. And do you know what it was? I think it was the David Volsky's back door had the Chiefs and the Buccaneers from 81. I think it was 81. And it was Tampa Bay at Kansas City. And there was a fumble. And Tampa Bay jumped on the ball and they blew it dead. And it's, oh, no, dead ball. And they didn't even show the replay. And when I saw the play, I thought the Kansas City guy fumbled the ball before he hit the ground. And I'm like, oh, show the replay. Well, let's see. Now, obviously, back then they couldn't reverse it with a replay, but you could see if it was indeed a fumble. They didn't even show the replay. It just went right to the next play. It's okay. Here's the next play. It's 2nd and 9 now after the fumble. And it's like, I want to see the replay. So they didn't even do that. They didn't even have the score on the scoreboard back in the day, if you remember that. But I remember that's like, show the replay, show the replay. I want to see if he fumbled it. And they didn't. And nowadays you got 19 different angles of that play on every game. And John says, 75 Monday Night Football is where his memories are. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's where I am too. 75 was right when I started to watch it. And then, right through, 85, I was big into it. And then, you get out of high school and you get a car and you go run off and you do your thing. So you're not paying attention to sports as much as you are to other things. You're working at that point and, you're out with your buds. And so you're not sitting home, geeking out as a teenager, with your baseball cards and your hockey cards. So, it was 79 season playoffs. Okay, nice. Dave Little comes by. How you doing, Dave? Dave posts some funny stuff on Facebook from the Babylon. Was it the Bee or something like that? I laugh all the time at that stuff. How they come up with this stuff, I'll never know. And New Jersey Tabletop Sports comes by here. If the car breaks down, roll 2 dice, and 11 to 66, meaning the car finally starts. Yeah. I did. I used to get all worked up when things broke down. In fact, my computer, I was having problems the other day, and I was like, oh, what do I do now? I can go out and grab a new one if I had to, but no, I'm looking at a week or two of moving all the data over, and I had to do that a couple times already. It's just a nightmare. It's just so frustrating to do that. But I calmed down. I actually fixed it myself. I was pretty proud of myself. And so now I bought me some more time till I actually have to get a new computer. I'm glad I bought this. I bought this new computer here. I don't know, was it 6 or 8 months ago? Maybe almost a year ago, I think, because my other one finally died. It was dying, and just before it completely died, I got all the information off it, and then got this one. So that was just in time. But yeah, between cars and computers, I would get all worked up. I couldn't sleep. I remember when I first got a computer, back in the mid '90s. I remember like laying in bed going, "Man, how am I going to fix the computer?" I get up at 2 a.m. and try to fix the computer, because I just couldn't let it go. And now I got a little bit older. Now I've learned to let things go and just enjoy some things. And the gaming hobby is like a huge part of it. And just watching other people do stuff too. Like today I was watching I think it was John. He did a whole APA baseball talk, and it was like listening to a talk show. But you're listening to a talk show about something you're really interested in. And that's what I try to do here with my little talks is talk about stuff that we're interested in. Like I love listening to sports radio and talk radio, but if the sports radio comes on and they're going to talk about us, college basketball, something I don't follow, I don't have any interest in, then I don't really listen to it. So it's like, I'm not going to listen to it. And I used to listen to the local talk radio here in Boston, and they had some good topics. Sometimes they talk about, snowstorms and how we handle them. And that's something I can relate to. But then to be like, let's talk about the parking problem at the Boston Public Library. I'm like, don't care. Don't care. I don't go to the Boston Public Library. I don't care about the parking situation. Sorry. And so, I like to listen to things that I'm interested in. So YouTube's where I go, or Twitch, and people here in the community do their things, and they play their games and they talk about the things. And I love, Phoenix Knight has been doing a lot of unboxing. I've been enjoying that. And so I really liked, this stuff here. So today I was folding my jerseys because I wash all the hockey jerseys, excuse me. And so I'm folding my jerseys, and I got, like I say, John's on talking about APA baseball, and then I get done that, and I was doing my rehab of my shoulders here. I got some things a therapist showed me how to do, and they take about 15 minutes to do the 10 to 15 minutes to do all the exercises to try to save me from getting surgery. And I'm doing those, and I got the iPad on. I'm just kind of watching him talk APA baseball and listen, what he's talking about. It's perfect. I love that stuff. I really do. I had a good time with that. And Philip Reynolds comes by. Hi, Philip. He looks happy in that picture. I'm glad for you, buddy. And he got one of my boxes from my mom's today. Nice. He goes, only when you use the orange creamsicles as your favorite football team. Oh, yeah, I did. It's my favorite. It's funny, they're my favorite team, but they're also the worst team ever. But I still enjoy it, you know. And Keith says a good topic that subconscious is no joke. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think our honestly, I'm not going to be getting into all the guru stuff here and the bam, bam, bam. I'm not going to do any of that tonight. But I just think a good state of mind is better than a bad state of mind. That negative energy is real, and we've all had that. And there's been so many things in my life I've had to step away from because it was just negative energy and it was just eat me up. And it's like I need to step away, and just you know deal with the things I want to deal with. And we all have bad things we got to deal with. I mean, it happens. It's just the way it is. But you know, um, no. Anyways, yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about here. And RCA stops by. One of the great things about sports gaming is that heroes of the past never stop playing. Yeah, what does Ron say? The cards never get tired. And I would agree with that. The cards never get tired, and we're playing the heroes from the past. And what is kind of sad though, RCA, is we're at the age now where our heroes are in that age group where they're passing away on a not a daily basis, but at least a weekly basis. Some of my favorite hockey players recently passed away in the last year. A lot of the Bruins I grew up watching, and it's sad that they're passed away or they're really sick and that, they're old. Every day there's a baseball player that we knew died. And it's just kind of sad. And I know that that's, the circle of life and the whole bit. And we'll be at that point at some point, but it is sad because we're playing these games and it's like, oh man, this guy's got the puck. Oh, he just died 2 weeks ago. And I feel like I'm playing his memory, and that's great, but it's still kind of sad that I wish I had this stuff when I was a kid, so I could play these games while these guys were alive and healthy and in the whole bit. But now I'm still get to play him, in my old age, and it's kind of fun. And Ron is the man on top of the mountain. He is. He just doesn't deal with banners very well. That's his problem. The orange creamsicles taste darn good. Speaking of orange creamsicles, what does he say? Wendy's currently has an orange creamsicle frosty. Interesting. Um, did you guys ever have an orange Julius? Do you know what an orange Julius is? I don't know if it was just around here or not, but we had these little stands. They were at the mall, and it was called Orange Julius. And basically, it was I don't think it was a frozen drink, but I think it was a cold drink. And it was milk and orange juice and a couple of other things. It was just pure sugar rush with milk. And it was the best thing as a kid. And I think there's a recipe out there somewhere, but I think it really was just milk or cream and then orange juice. It was called an orange Julius. And they might have had different flavors, but orange was the big one. And there'd be lines at that thing at the mall all night long trying to get an orange Julius. It was just the thing, the orange Julius. And I think there was a place around here that revived it for a little while, but now in my old age, I can't drink a lot of sugar, so I don't have it. But it's kind of like, I'd like to get one once in a while, kind of like the what's that called? The Shamrock Shake that McDonald's get. I'll go get a smaller medium once a year when they come out, and I'll have it. And it's loaded with sugar, and I shouldn't have it, but I'll have one. This year I missed it. I didn't get it this year. But some things like that, you got to treat yourself to. You just have to. And Fenner stops by. He's been playing some games as well. He's watching me on my lunch break. Thank you for coming by. When are we going to see some more Stone Cold hockey? Very soon. I need to get the Stone Cold hockey out. Yep. Is that the same taste you remember from your childhood? Probably. Well, probably not. Nothing's the same as it was in the childhood. And and New Jersey says I've completely dropped out of the game. Stress and worry are a huge deal. So does that mean you're not playing the games? That's too bad because I find that these relaxers, playing these things, setting them up, and just and the biggest thing for me, okay, because I was a video game guy, and for a long time, from like the Atari in what, 77, 78. Once that come out, I didn't do much. I mean, we would play all the board games, the Monopolies and the we played all that stuff. And then once the games went on the TV, that was it. I mean, I didn't look back. So I probably wouldn't have played Strat or Appa back in the day because I wanted to play the video games. Then you got the Intellivision and the Nintendo and the Sega. And once the Sega Genesis come out with the hockey games, forget it. I'm glad it happened after I was out of high school or after I was out of school because I would have been missing days of school playing these games, especially the Sega hockey. But for me, coming from video games where you're like, and now I can, whether it's Action PC or Stone Cold Hockey or anything I do, whether it's computer or whether it's on the tabletop, I just relax. I can sit here and go like this, and I don't have to worry about rushing. I don't have to worry about hurrying. I can take as long as I want between plays, between pitches, between face-offs. It's my speed, and ST Patrick comes by, and he had a fantastic monologue, okay, about, how long does it take to play a game. I'll talk about that in 1 second here. And, Art Bell. Art Bell was the best. I was unemployed for a year back in the mid-'90s, and I'd be up all night listening to Art Bell, listening to the whole show. He was like 1 to 6 or something like that, or 1 to 5. And he says, now, nothing more relaxing to me. Now I'm at peace at most when I'm playing games. It's the best mental health medicine. Yeah. Yep. I agree it is, And I did the Art Bell thing and then the George Norrie thing. And it was, the great thing about Art Bell and George Norrie was you knew someone called up and they were full of crap. But they disrespected these people and they just said, okay, go on your thing. Like this one guy called, yeah, I'm a time traveler. Okay, well, what year where are you from? Well, I'm from the year, 2932. Okay, what's going on 2932? Well, you wouldn't believe what's happening out there. And he just let him go. And you know what? Whether this guy was just making a joke or he was just whatever it was just relaxing. It was interesting. I enjoyed listening to it. I really did. All the talks about the aliens and the Bigfoots. It just was interesting. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I listen to all that stuff. I don't do that too much anymore, but I went through that phase where, pre-internet, that was pre-internet for the most part. It was just fun to listen to and the stories that people told and, whether they were true or not, you don't know, but they were just stories. And it was like a nice little movie that you would listen to at night. That I washed them down with a little Downy, maybe a little Debbie, but I don't know about a little Downy, How is the cave, Dave? Well, cave's doing okay, I guess. Down here, I gotta go on eBay. I gotta get some more pennants here. I go on eBay and I find all the if we were to look closely at these pennants, they're all stained and ripped. So I find the ones that are like $5 and or $10 free shipping, and that's what I'll buy. I don't buy anything in good shape because I just want stuff to hang behind me. So I need to kind of dress up the cave a little bit over here. You notice what I got over here is these I got my Buccaneers and my Seahawks. So those are my 1976 expansion mini pennants that I got. So I put those up over there. So I do like that. Dave Little. I seem to get a lot of physical activity. It's a great benefit for us old fogies. Yeah, I watch some doctors on YouTube as well. And they all agreed that walking is the big thing. Get out and walk. So I try to walk the dog, although he's getting to be a little old. He can't do the walk. So we used to go a couple of miles, me and the dog, and he can't do that anymore. So I've slowed down the walking. And then I was playing a lot of hockey and going to the gym, and I stopped that, and I need to get back to doing that. But when I was going to the gym twice a week and playing hockey twice a week and walking the dog 5 times a week, I felt I was in pretty good shape. I felt good. Things just go better. When you sit and do nothing, yeah, you can't do that. You can't sit and do nothing. And that's the thing that when I was, for years, I'd go to the doctor and they'd see this fat guy come in. I'm a fat guy. And they would check my vitals and look at everything. It's like, wow, we weren't expecting that. It's like, well, no, I'm a heavy guy, but I'm an active guy. And I think hockey's kind of kept me going, and walking the dog and all the stuff's kept me going. It's just too bad now that I'm breaking down. My shoulders are breaking down and I can't do as much as I used to do, but I still try to at least do something and not as much as I want to sit here and play games all day. I can't. I do force myself to get out and exercise and do some things because you need to have that balance. But yes, physical activity is a big thing for all of us. Ty Board Games comes by. Hello, Dave. Finding this hobby has been the best thing for me. Yes, me too. I always look forward to my night of playing sports board games. It just helps me relax and de-stress from the day. That's what we're talking about. It's so good for your health, isn't it? It's so good for your health when you um, just can unwind and play something you like. I mean, and you can and the things you can play whatever game you want and whatever season you want, whatever team you want, whatever play you want. It's up to you. And that's half the fun. And like I said, when I pulled out this afternoon and I'm looking over here in 1975 and I'm like, I'm gonna play Earl Morrill here in Napa football. Okay. And I'm gonna play Jim Plunkett. So I'm gonna play Dolphins Patriots. Okay. Patriots are 3-11, so they're gonna get smoked, but it's still gonna be a fun time. Anybody over here I want to play? Well, of course, I'm going to have to play Joe Namath, right, for the Jets. I know I have him in 76, but I'm going to play him here in 75. And I don't know if George Blanda started it all over here, but I might play some George Blanda. You know, these are some guys that were just kind of just starting to retire from football just when I started watching it. These are some of the names, the Lenny Dawsons, you know, guys like that, and the George Blandas and the Earl Morrills. They were wrapping up their careers, so I missed their careers. You know, Roman Gabriel over here for Philadelphia. I'm going to play some Philadelphia Eagles 1975 just so I can play Roman Gabriel. Seriously, I just want to play Roman Gabriel. I really do. And so that's what I'm looking to do here. And I spent most of today doing that. Steve Spurrier, before he got sent to Tampa Bay, he was with the 49ers. You know, it might be fun to play that. And I definitely want to play Billy Kilmer. You know, nothing against Theismann. Theismann's great, but, you know, I remember Kilmer, Theismann, they were kind of, you know, 1A, 1 and 1A, and they would, you know, swap in and out, you know, who's going to play the game. And, you know, Kilmer was getting older, but he could still get it done. And then Theismann was the young gun that was making the mistakes, and just, it was fun watching them both. And they both had single bars on their face mask, you know. But I remember, you know, Kilmer and Theismann. So I want to play those guys. And so that's why I get 75. And today, when I was going through those teams, I was in a happy place, and it really was. And it's like I'm looking forward to playing those guys, and that's what made me feel really good. David C comes by. Thank you so much, David C. I have some new members here on the channel. Again, I just started my membership program tonight. I'm still learning how it goes here, but it's going to give me a chance to really kind of connect with some more people on a deeper level, and really find out what they enjoy playing, and you know, help me figure out, you know, how to do some shape the channel, what kind of videos I should put up here on the channel. So I'm going to really lean heavily on the members here. And okay, so you had the Orange Julius in Florida, okay, and New Jersey had them at the mall. Okay, nice. So yeah, so I'm not the only one. And SD Patrick's at Dave Little. Oh, SD, I have an idea for my next article. In fact, I'm going to try to write two. If I can find the time, I'm going to write two articles, and I'll get those out to you. So that way, there I can, you know, you have them, you know, and you know, one of them's going to be on Apple Football, probably. And Andrew had one at the mall too. Yep. And yeah, it was yes, that last Sportsman magazine was so good. That that's what I want to talk about. The SD Patrick's monologue. I call it the monologue at the beginning of the magazine, and it spot on when he said, you know, when someone asked me, well, how long does it take to play the game? And I think we did a show on that actually, and he hit it spot on. It's, you know, it's not well, it takes an hour. It takes a half hour. It's different for everyone. And he went on. It's like, well, how fast do you play? How many interruptions you gonna have? You know, do you know the game well, or are you just learning it? Are you playing basic? Are you playing advanced? Are you trying something new? Do you have home brews? there's a million questions you have to ask the individual person, because what might take me an hour might take you 20 minutes and might take the next guy 2 hours. I tend to play slow. I tend to try to enjoy my games. I don't rush through them. And so when it takes me 2.5 hours to play a game of Apple football, it doesn't bother me in the least, because I have 2.5 hours of complete enjoyment. That's just kind of how it is with me. And there was a time that I didn't want to play the long games. And I took the plunge and I bought the season, the 78 season, and played the Apple football. I took the chance and put some money down. And I probably put 50 or 60 hours into that 78 season already. I just can't stop playing it. It's just so awesome. And so the answer to the question, how long does it take? It takes as long as you want it to. And I get where people are going with the question. Okay, when it's how long does it take? Okay, am I realistically looking at 3 to 4 hours, or is this more like a 45-minute game? I get where people are coming from. They just want an idea. But again, everybody plays at a different pace. I myself, I'll be sitting here and I'll be playing, and text message, or up Facebook message, you know what I mean? And I'll stop the game and I'll do that. Or I need to get another root beer. Or someone shows up. And so, but if I sit here and just kind of play through it, I tried it one time, and I think I did it like 31, 32 minutes a quarter for Apple football, with nothing crazy happen, just kind of normal stuff. So it's about 2 hours to play a game of Apple football. That's if I stick to it, don't move around too much, don't answer the phone, don't. I mean, a lot of times I'll be sitting here, I'll be on YouTube, and when the video ends, I'll go find another one, and it'll take me a couple minutes. So for me, it's hard to, I don't want to say, geez, it took me 3 hours to play that game of Apple football, because people can be, whoa, 3 hours, forget it. Well, that's because I was doing different things, and every now and then I put a timer on my phone. I say, I'm going to time myself to see how long it takes me to play a period or a quarter or a full baseball game. And I got to make sure that when I do that I focus on the game, because too many times I'm like, oh, let me go over here. Oh, no, stop the timer, because I'm not gaming right now. I'm messing around, you know. I'm putting laundry in, I'm folding laundry. That's not gaming time, so stop the timer. So many times I've tried to time myself playing a game so I know how long it takes, and I just can't. I don't have an answer for that. But I get where people, they just want a basic idea. Oh, it's a quick play game. It's a drive-by drive game. It's going to take you 20, 25 minutes. Okay, fine. Or it's a full play football game. As soon as you say full play football game, if you're playing every play and you're rolling dice on every play, you're clicking for every play, if it's on the computer and you're playing Action PC or Football Mogul's the fastest, by the way. The Clay Dresslock game, Football Mogul, that's the quickest one. You can probably play that in 25 minutes to a half hour, because you just click and click and click. It's pretty quick, and I like that. And that's why I play Football Mogul, because it's fast. But Action PC, what's it? Was it second season? Oh, second and 10 computer game, and Strat Football. All the computer ones there, you're looking at an hour and a half for a football game. And the tabletop ones, if you're playing Apple football or Solitaire Pro Football or second season, those are the three that I have. And I think I have a couple of like Fast Action Football for Downey. That was a little quicker because it was really a basic game. But those are going to take you minimum hour and a half to 2 hours, because it's play-by-play football game. You just can't get around it. It's about a minute of play. And so if you're doing 120 plays, and it's a minute of play, that's 2 hours. There's just no way around it. It's just you can't watch 60 minutes in 25. You can't. It's just kind of how it is. And Randy comes by, and Randy said, it's tough to me to play the 85-year-old because your down adventure died in a car accident shortly after they won the World Series. And yes, we did have an Orange Julius. Well, some of these games are tough. When someone has died or passed away or something bad happens, it is tough to play those cards. I'm with you on that. I mean, we've all been there. It's like, ooh, this guy passed away. And it's like you feel weird playing him, but you do, and you honor his memory by playing and enjoying it is what you do. But and it's especially when your team loses, like that 2007 season with the Patriots, went undefeated and lost the Super Bowl. Boy, that's going to be a tough one to play. It's their best team, and I don't think you get them to go undefeated again if you played them. But just knowing how it ended, it's kind of I mean, sometimes I like to buy a season where they won. Like I have some Bruins seasons where they won the cup. But 70-71 is one of my favorite seasons to play, and that's the year they didn't win the cup. And I still like that season because that was the Canadians and Blackhawks went 7 games in 70-71. And the Bruins statistically were the best team in the league. And anytime I played 70-71, they win the cup. So it's kind of fun doing that, even though they didn't win it. Now they won it the season before and the season after, so it makes it a little bit easier to take, so to speak. But that's the only season that I really can enjoy playing that my team didn't win. It's tough playing, was it 73-74 when they lost to the Flyers? That's a tough one to play as well. So sometimes it's not only players dying, but it's how your team does, David C. says, Dairy Queen. Oh, that's what it was. Yes, we have a Dairy Queen up the street. They brought it back. And Buffalo's the closest market for me to get an Orange Julius. Yes, that's what it was. Yep, you're exactly right. Dairy Queen. Well, yeah, because we have a Dairy Queen up the street, and they had it for a little bit. And I think we got one. It's like, oh yeah, this is full of sugar. My body now can taste sugar very well right now. And so I think we got it once, and that was about it. And Dave Little became a member. Thank you, David. I'm trying to learn how to use the chat and post everything here. Some Roads comes by. Evening, gents. And Randy says we had an Orange Julius back in the day next to the waterbed store at the mall. I had a waterbed too. I don't know how those things never bursted. Seriously. And I had one in my last apartment before I met my wife. I was in this older house, and the bedroom I had was on the third floor, and it was like overhanging everything. And it felt like instead of being level, it was like hanging down. And I put a waterbed in that thing, and I just felt like I was just gonna slide. The waterbed is so heavy; it's just gonna slide out. It's gonna go through the wall and slide out onto the concrete down below. It just felt like like Family Guy when you see Cleveland in the bathtub. No, 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 no. That's what I thought I was gonna do with that. It was just so heavy. I seriously thought I was either gonna go through it or crash down on the porch because I think it was over the porch. But I had a waterbed in that place. I was like, oh. And then when we finally I think me and the wife moved into a place when we had a waterbed for a while. Then we finally get rid of it. And I was like, yeah, I just don't need this thing exploding. And after a while, it was weird getting on a waterbed. It just was like, I'm not sleeping that good on it anymore. But I did have one back in the day. Archie comes by. Hi, Archie. I'm just taking my time playing a game. If I'm in the middle of a game, I'll just quit for a while, leave it on the table, and come back when I'm ready. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Is just kind of enjoy it. That's the thing. You don't want to rush. And I've rushed games because I just want to get it done. And that's no fun. That's why I've quit projects. I did a whole video on quitting a project because it just wasn't fun. I did not enjoy it. And so I was like, if I'm not enjoying it, it's time to end the project. It really is. ST, agree, Dave. Art Bell's goal is to let people tell their narrative, not to be judgmental. Art was a master at what he did. And he's the reason I've done my show for 6 years. Yep. And I like it when on the sports radio too, when I listen to and they let people talk. There's a kid at the hockey rink, and I think he's got autism, and he's like the sweetest kid. And I hear him all the time. I heard him today on the radio because when I'm in the shower or something, I'll have sports talk on, and I hear, let's go to Tommy now. And so, hi, this is Tommy, and I want to talk about how bad the Bruins were, And when he first started calling in, people thought he was a kook and they would hang up on him. But now they know who he is. And he's like a featured guest on the show, and they let him talk. And that's what I liked about some people. Just, you never know someone's situation. Just let them talk. And so Tommy talks all the time, and they're great with him. And I love how they treat him. You know what I mean? But there's some people that call up, and then the hosts aren't that cool with the people, and you can tell when someone's just trying to get under your skin and be a jerk. But you never know someone's situation. Someone talks weird, someone's older, maybe they're not articulate, and it just I like the host that let the people go, let the people talk. I think that's good, and that's what Art Bell did. And didn't matter how crazy you were, if you were a time traveling vampire, you got to tell your story, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was great. I like that. And where are we now over here? Archie says, wife might get annoyed because it's on the table for a while, but eventually gets cleaned up. Yeah, that's why you got to find a little spot somewhere, a little cubby hole somewhere in the house that you can find a table and just leave it there. And I know the kitchen table's tough, and sometimes that's all we have because that's all I had for a while was kitchen table or dining room table. Actually, I had dining room table for a while, and I would have stuff on the dining room table, and I'd have my Strat all set up when I played back in the day or whatever it was, and she'd be like, you're clogging my table here. So eventually I had to clean up some space down here in the basement and play down here. But I enjoyed playing it upstairs for a while there, because right in the dining room. So we'd get done dinner and I'd go in there, just walk in the next room and play. Now I got to come downstairs and turn on the lights and the whole bit. And it's sometimes I like to be upstairs where the action is. People come by, I got the TV on, the dogs are out, it's much more brighter upstairs. So I did kind of enjoy playing up there. But yeah, sometimes she got annoyed at that. Orange Julius bringing me back. Man, the Orange Julius, were they so good? They were so good. Yeah. Yep. And he said no cards and dice at all. ADHD gets worse with age, and by the time I set up a game, I don't have interest in playing it. I was a gamer from Pong, just physical and mental issues that are really bad. That sucks. But I hear you. I've done that too. Honestly, I've set up a game. I get it all set up and this and that, and then like, nah, I don't feel like playing now. It's like I was all gung ho about it. By the time I set it up, I just didn't want to play it anymore. I've done the same thing a couple times. Or I pull out some things and I don't even get it finished. I start setting it up. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to play this. And I've done that so many times. Just kind of put it away and just be done with it. And Federer comes by. He says, I'm definitely playing Stone Cold Hockey tonight. Started watching Quick Deck's hockey video as well. Yeah, Grant, I talked to Grant the other day, and he said he was going to be sending me out the game to check out. So I need to get that in and start reading on that. And then I think he said he's going to go back and he's going to finish tidying up the football game. There was a couple of loose ends he needs to tie up with that football game. I need to get with him on that because I really, really like his Quick Decks football game. But there's a couple of things that need to be tidied up, and I'm hoping he'll get to that. But for what I hear, the hockey game's been going over quite well, so I can't wait to get my hands on that and give that a try. And let's see, ST Patrick, I appreciate that. Yeah, I enjoy the writing. I used to write for a hockey magazine back in 2001. Yeah, I wrote for a hockey magazine back then, and that was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed doing that. And then the magazine went out of business. It was a minor league hockey magazine, but my articles were always getting praised, and they would contact me and say, "Wow, we got some great feedback on the articles you wrote." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," So at least people like what I wrote back then. So I still enjoy writing. It's just finding the time right now. I just got out of busy season and then I've been sick. So, but I enjoy putting things on paper and getting them in the magazine. And Dave Little, thank you so much. Became a YouTube member. Dave, thank you so much for that. Still don't know where Dave lives. Every time Ron reads off the area codes on the show, we try to figure out where Dave Little is. And this time was Louisiana. And I don't think Dave Little's from Louisiana or lives in Louisiana, but we always get it wrong. I don't know what it is. He tells us all the time where he's from, and we get it wrong. So that's kind of been the running joke on the podcast with Dave Little. And Keith says, my mom worked at Sibley Hospital and was pregnant with me when she got to see Sonny Jurgensen. When his wife was pregnant with their second child, she was told not to approach him or risk being fired. That's funny. He gave her a big smile and autograph. And Oh, no autograph needed. Big smile. Okay, great, great. I wonder if Jurgensen was healthy. Would Miami finish 17-0? We'll never know. What years did he play? What year did Sonny Jurgensen play? Because I don't think he was in my 75 set. I don't think. So I'd have to find that out. StreamYard keeps track of video time for you. Yeah, I do like that. Johnny stops by. Thanks for coming by, Johnny. And ST says, I played 67 USC and 68 Ohio State the other day. And yep, super awkward playing OJ Simpson. Isn't it? Isn't it? As Ron McGrath comes by. I'm not an area code 001, not even 007. you know? But yeah, it's Al Red Sox fan. He loves playing OJ, and he separates the player from the other person that he is. And I kind of do that too. I did a book report on OJ Simpson, 1976. We had to do book reports, and everybody was doing, George Washington and all that. I said, "Can I do OJ Simpson?" The guy's like, "Sure." So you had to, dress up like the character. So I dressed up. I had some reason. I never played football, but I had a football outfit. So I put on the helmet, dressed up like football, went to school. I used to hate that. Everyone's looking at you like, "Yeah, I'm dressed up for a book report today." For a 10-minute book report, I got to wear this uniform all day long. Hated that. Hated it. But we all had to do it. So I did the OJ Simpson one. Dressed up as OJ Simpson and did a thing on OJ Simpson. And I do enjoy playing them here, whether it's on the PC or the tabletop, but it is tough. It is tough because you have to separate. Okay, I'm playing OJ from the 70s, not OJ. And even his movies was great. When he was in, was it Naked Gun or something like that? They were great. He was so funny in those movies. And now it's too bad the way it ended up. Let me see. I know you live in the New England area. Is there any else we consider or thought about living? Yeah. Yep. I didn't get the first area code. Jeff, I think it's the membership is if you go to my page, I think you got to click on my page and it should be a membership option there now, button, probably like right next to subscribe or chat or something. It's hard for me to see because I'm the channel owner, but there should be a membership option on the page. And there's just different tiers for different things. And I uploaded my first video for members only, so we can chat with stuff there. And it's gonna get me to do more videos, and then the members kind of help me figure out, what we're gonna do for videos. It's gonna push me to do more, is what I'm hoping this is gonna do. But getting back to Fenner, I'll tell you a story here, a true story. It wasn't that many years ago, probably before COVID. Oh, no, I think it was during COVID that everything was getting shut down in certain states. And Florida was wide open. And I remember talking to the wife saying, well, I'm out of work. And we always talked about, if one of us, if we both lost our jobs, there's nothing keeping us here and it's too expensive to live unless we're both working. So I says, if that was the case, we would sell the house and move somewhere. And so I was out of work. No idea when I was going back to work because they kept us shut down over and over and over. And I don't want to get on a rant, but we all know now what the deal is. But anyway, so we looked to go to Florida. And we found a place that had a roller hockey rink and an ice hockey rink. So I could either at least play. If not play, I could work in some capacity in the field that I'm in. And so we found the town and we were looking around and we were seriously thinking about selling the house and moving down there because we were just fed up with the crap up here. And 2 weeks later, they got hit with a hurricane and that town got destroyed. True story. And I remember, like, it was either 2 weeks before or after we were looking at it. So I think, well, here's the place. Let's look at this place. And then, like, on the news, it was like that exact town was hit hard by a hurricane. And I remember talking to her saying, Well, maybe that's not a good idea. I mean, as much as the winters can suck up here and it's expensive, we don't have hurricanes. And from what I understand, insurance companies are leaving California and Florida in groves because it's just not worth it to them to stay in business. So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Um, that kind of went by the wayside. But we thought about Florida, but at the same time, when it gets hot up here, when it gets 95 up here, 100 degrees up here, we can't take the heat. So I'm like, why the heck would we go to Florida when it's going to be that hot all year round? We were in Florida in May one time, and nobody was out even walking the dog or playing baseball because it was just too hot. So we're like, yeah, we don't do well in the heat. So I says, well, as much as I thought about that, I don't think so. So I'd have to go somewhere in the middle of the country where it's not too hot, not too cold, and somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I always thought like Kansas City or something, but they don't have a hockey team anymore. So I definitely need to be near a hockey rink. So, but for right now, I mean, we're getting kind of too old to move. So we're kind of stuck where we are. And that is that. But anyway, um, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk tonight about the health aspect, mostly the mental health aspect of what we do here, and I think we all take it for granted. I think we do to a large degree. Maybe not all of us, but I think the idea of us sitting down and then sharing our stuff. I mean, there's the shopping for the games, which is retail therapy. It's therapeutic. Looking at all the seasons and the games we want to get, because there's still some baseball games I don't have that I'd like to get, and there's still some games coming out that I want to get. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to be great to play that. Or looking for seasons. Do I want to get a new season in this game or season for that game? And sometimes Strat comes out with new seasons that I want to get, or anything like that. So, or again, the Easter sales. Sometimes there's Easter sales, and then you get the Black Friday sales. Sometimes there's a summer sale, and it's just fun shopping around. So you get that. Then the actual buying and waiting for it to come in if you buy a physical product, and then it arrives. It's like Christmas. That's awesome. That's all therapeutic. I mean, there's so many times that, I remember, going to a rink. It's playoffs. Playoffs are the worst time for me. And there's an Apple package sitting at the front door, and I bring it in. It's like, I know what I'm doing when I come home. And that gets me through the night and all the crap that I deal with at the rink. And I take a lot. I do. And I just know that when I get home, I got half a season waiting for me, or I got something waiting for me. I can't wait to open it up. And yeah. And then there's the playing of the game. Obviously, playing the game is a big part of it. Setting up and playing it, looking at the cards. That's the thing I like about the cards and dice. It's the cards. It's called cards and dice. And we all talk about the app of football and how there's tons of cards. You don't use them all, but still you have them. And you'd be surprised how often you use the cards that you didn't think you were ever going to use. Even if it's just for a roll for a return or something like that, or to check for a sack. It just you're constantly using them, and it's nice to have those cards. It's a feel good thing. It's a feel good thing, and I have anxiety pills here I take when I get my real bad anxiety. Knowing I have the anxiety pills lowers my anxiety. If I run out, I get anxious. I'm like, doc, where's my pills? You know what I mean? And I might take one a year or two a year. I don't need them anymore. I've learned to relax a little bit. But knowing I have them is relaxing. So having these games and just knowing that I can play these games is relaxing. You know what I mean? And so this whole hobby, and then listening to you guys, and sharing the stuff. So I play a game and I share my stuff. And I don't care if anybody reads it or not, or if people just scroll by it. It's the thing that one or two people might check in on the score. Hey, check out this game I played. That's kind of neat. You know, I know we all get bombarded with, people's replays and what they played during the day, and we get probably 100 a day we see. But every now and then you scroll on one, it's kind of neat, and you read it, and that's what I kind of figure with my stuff. It's like I try to just put up some of the important stuff or something that I thought that was really neat. If it's a run of the mill game, I don't really talk about it. But if something kind of neat happens, it's like, oh, check this out. and I just kind of share it. And so, and then you talk about it. And that's kind of fun. But especially on our Discord with our Patreon people, uh, it's fun. It's infectious. I mean, they're all on there talking about, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that, I'm playing this game, and it's like, this guy just ordered app of baseball and he's loving it, and this guy just ordered app of football and he's loving it, and it's like, I can't believe I spent the money on app of football, but I can't believe how much I love this game, and it's an infectious feeling. It really is, and it's just I give people credit for picking up the app of football because it's one of the most expensive games you can buy. But I mean, you don't got to buy 10 seasons. You can buy one, no, maybe two. And there's a ton of cards in there. There's a ton of teams to play. You can play a whole season, you can play playoffs or whatever it is. You can buy the Super Bowl teams. And it's just a blast. And it's fun seeing people do that. And it's fun seeing people say, hey, Dave, I watch you play. And it looked like fun. And I got it. And I'm having fun because I do that too. I see other people play it and I'm like, wow, that looks like fun. It looks easy. And I want to get it. And I want to play that. And then you have the fun. And it's like, this is awesome. This is awesome. And let me see, where are we here now? Any new games on the way? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, where it was. Fenner says, I graduated high school in Texas, stayed hot till November. Yeah, yeah, yep. It's yeah. I've only been to Texas once. I think I was in and out. We dropped into Dallas and got a connecting flight, so I wasn't in Texas that long. And Fenner says, playing these games relax me so much, and I love telling you guys about what I play. Yeah, that's the great thing about it is being able to just share what you're doing. And sometimes you get a lot of feedback, and sometimes you get none, and that's okay. Because again, we're all, I try to follow stuff during the day, but sometimes I'm busy and I'm not on for a couple of days or for most of the day. Sometimes at night I'm just kind of scrolling by and I'll give a like or something. I mostly follow the hockey stuff and then maybe some football. There's just tons of baseball on there, and I don't follow too much of the baseball, but once in a while I like to look at something and see whatever. But it is kind of fun doing that. It really is. Let's see here. Any new games on the way? Yeah, the Quick Decks hockey should be here at some point, and I'm going to take a look at that. That looks really interesting. I do have one game. You can't see it over here. Let me see if I can get it. I do have this. Okay, it's unopened. I need to do an unboxing video for that, and that's been sitting there since Black Friday. Just I haven't got to it, and it's a newer game. Once I open it up, you guys will know the company, know what it is. But it's a newer game, and I just haven't got to play it yet. But there's another one there. And Jeff, oh nice, Jeff, a new member. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you guys like what I do here on the channel. And again, it's about the community. It really is. And let's see, Fenner comes by and says, History Maker Golf will be the next one. I have the all-time great card set already. That is one of the games that that got me through tough times of 2020 because I was out of work, out of my mind, and I got that in, and I had all day to play. And so I walked the dog twice, and we were both pretty thin back then because we were walking. Remember, I walked right down the street, the main street in my town. There was no traffic, and it was scary that it was noontime and there should be traffic backed up for miles, and I'm walking down the middle of the street with my dog. It was like an apocalyptic type movie situation. It's really weird. But anyway, History Maker Golf got me through that summer because I played a lot of golf and I'd play the full tournament, 4 or 5 hours. Love that game. That game is so good. That's a game that no matter how many videos you watch, you don't get the sense of how that game plays and how fun it is. You need, once you play it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And you can't capture that feeling in a video. There's a handful of games like that. Some games you can show off and you can really show what it's all about, and then you can decide if you like it or not. History Maker Golf's one of those games. No matter how many times people have tried, many times I've tried, you just can't show off how fun that game is in a video. You just can't. And Kevin, I'm sorry to hear that. But his games have been a huge part of the green. Yes, I can imagine it was absolutely, and then that's why we do this stuff here is to get through life is what we do. Philip's gonna get Legends of Boxing 2. And after that, Deck Baseball and History Maker. Oh, on Deck Baseball, I'd imagine that is, right? Yep. And Fantasy, I play Apple Baseball and love it. Now I want payoff pitch and season ticket. Yeah, I like the, it's, I was talking to Ron about that, about the baseball games, because I have all three of those. And I had payoff pitch, and I kind of gave up on it. And then I gave it another try, and I loved it. And now I'm fighting it again. And it's just I just can't decide how I want to play it, because as soon as I decide how I'm going to handle the base running, there's so many ways of doing it, and the options are great. But I do it one way, and then I'm like, well, if I do it this way, then the runner speed doesn't matter. So I want to do it this way. But this way is getting complex now, and it's going to take me a lot longer to play. And I don't want to make this game any more complex, because it's a fun game when it's simple. So I should do it this way. But then now something else doesn't jive with me. So I just so I sit there and I'm like, how do I want to do it? And I need to refocus myself on that game. The APA, I like the APA, but was it John that said he likes to play aggressive? And you can't call your own steals in APA Basic. You can with the master game. And there is actually, I do have a sheet somewhere that if you use the master symbols, you can try to steal on your own. So there is a way of doing it. And someone does have, I don't know if it's a homebrew board or what it is, but there is a chart that I have that someone sent me that you can look at the steal rating and the pitcher rating, and you can decide if he's going to steal, and look at the catcher arm and the whole bit. So there is a way to do it, but the stealing in APA, as much as I like it being automatic, I do like to steal once in a while in my baseball games, and that's where season ticket comes in. Whereas season ticket, I like the stealing mechanic, and the game itself is fantastic. Everything's on the cards. You don't even need charts unless you need to reference what the symbols are. And just the idea that you try to get the lead, and then you can get picked off on the lead, or the guy can throw it away when you're trying to get the lead. And if you get the lead, you can go for the steal. I like that. I like the mechanics of going for the extra base, and I did that so many times. The other day playing season ticket, I would hit the ball into whatever field it was, and I had the option of taking the extra base. I said, I'm going to try it. And so I challenged the fielder's arm, and I slid in with a double or slid in with a triple, and it was fun. It was great. So right now, season ticket is probably one of my top baseball games. I don't want to say it's the top, but I think that's the one that right now, and again, we all change what we feel like. One day I like Chinese food, one day I like hamburgers. But right now, season ticket is scratching the itches that I want to scratch. So season ticket is one, and it's the most inexpensive one. I mean, it's PDF and you got to print it. There are some printed seasons, but I find for me, I can print the season ticket stuff out really fast and really easy to cut, and I'm done in a flash. It's like 6 or 7 pages, for a team, I think, tops. And the cards are nice and big, so you get 6 on a page, I think, and it's just like cut, and they're all perfect as far as I'm concerned. So for me, I do like the season ticket because it does a little bit more than APA Basic, and it's not quite as confusing as Payoff Pitch. But that's just where I am right now, and some people will argue that the other ones are whatever, and that's fine, because there's no right or wrong game to play. So for me, I play all three. I just find that right now, season tickets fitting in the best for me. But I did play APA the other night. I got my 78 season going with the Red Sox. I did play APA the other night, and now it's fun. Larry stops by. Sorry, I missed you here, Larry. I was kind of yapping away. Go Whalers. Yep, got my Whalers hat on tonight. And Jeff, thank you so much. You did find the link to the membership. Thank you, Jeff. Yep, I saw that you popped up over here. It's kind of neat that I'm in StreamYard. It pops up as a green with a star. So I had Dave and Jeff here tonight, and that was kind of neat. And I didn't know that StreamYard did that, but it does that. And but yeah, just kind of getting back to the topic at hand tonight. It's just this stuff we do is just so relaxing, and this is exactly what I need and what probably we all need is just relaxing, and sometimes even doing these chats for me are relaxing, and then watching you guys do the chats. Again, I like, watching you guys put out your videos of the games you're playing, or just kind of chatting about them, or the unboxings. Because when you do, I love the unboxings because there's just so much joy in an unboxing video. You open it up, it's like, oh, look at this. And it's like, oh, let me smell the paper. Let me look at the cards. And where's the guy here, this is the guy right here. This is the guy that I wanted to play. He's my favorite guy, and it's just so great, watching that stuff. It's all positive reinforcement. It's all positive energy. And that's what it stinks sometimes when you go on Facebook or Delphi or wherever, and you get the the humdy dumb guy, rah, 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 you know what I mean? It's just trying to start a fight over the DH. I mean, jeepers creepers. I enjoy the game. I'm playing it. Let's not fight about the DH. Okay, we're gonna go nowhere. It's like fighting about politics. No one's gonna win. Everyone's right. Everyone's wrong. Just why? Just why? So it's like me and Ron, we try to keep it positive on the show. Our channels, we try to keep it positive in the whole thing. And um, and I think for the most part, we've done that. And Jeff says, I just played a 4-game series in APA baseball between Oakland A's and Minnesota Twins. Both teams split the series. No 12-0 start for Oakland this year. And I think you're playing 80. Was it 81 you're playing? Somebody was playing 81, and that was the strike season. And I thought it was you. But someone's tackling the 81 season. I thought that I don't have 81. I thought about it. But I didn't get it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of doing the season ticket thing right now. So for me, I got a ton of season ticket. I just need to print them out. So I'm over here. So I got my Red Sox here with Roger Clemens. So that's I got him printed out with 86 right now, and I got 5 or 6 teams printed out. So anytime he has a couple games coming up, I'll look at the 2 teams he's playing next, and I'll just print them out. So I printed out like Seattle and Oakland, so I have them ready to go when I'm playing the Clemens games here. And I probably won't play every 86 game, or at least it's just a Clemens project. But there's some other seasons, like I have the whole 79 printed out that I enjoy. That I have that in. I printed out payoff pitch with that because that's when I had the PDFs of payoff pitch. Now I just buy the payoff pitch. Their cards are very, very reasonably priced. So I like to buy the cards themselves. Season ticket though, I think it's just easy for me to print season tickets. So I printed out the playoff teams in 79 because I'm going to be using season ticket for my 79 playoffs, which I'm getting closer to. I have been playing some games and simulating some weeks. So I'm going to be wrapping up the 79 project pretty soon so I can move on to something else. 78 APA baseball, I've been enjoying just the Red Sox, and I'm just kind of playing an as-played Red Sox season, and that's been kind of fun. Frustrating and fun, as that team was. And Jeff says, yes, the 81 season for baseball and football. Yeah. Oh yeah. Was that the one that they ran out of 81, but they did order it and you got it in a week? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good to know that, if they like 83 is another one I'm looking at, that if they run out, they can order it and it's not going to be gone forever. So that is good to know. That's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And Larry says he's about to start a draft league using 75 APA. What is the best way to keep stats? Ballstat, Digital Diamond. I haven't used Ballstat. Digital Diamond is awesome. All the seasons come with it. I find it's easy to use. It's quick to put in the stuff. When you have a quirky play, it can get kind of confusing, and then you have to pull out the rules here for all the code you put in. But 95% are just going to be easy peasy putting it in. So I like Digital Diamond. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. I like just everything about Digital Diamond, and I have since the first time I played it. And I used to use Strat and Replay, and one, you got to buy the seasons, and two, I just find that um, as they do, Strat and Replay do a good job of putting in the stats because you can kind of really direct where it goes with the mouse, but nothing beats G6 enter. I mean, it's not like hit to the shortstop and out. It's like G6 enter. You're done. You're on to the next batter. It is so fast in entering the stats. And then they do a good job of keeping all the stats for you, like the other stuff too. But I like the Digital Diamond. I really do. Dave Little is looking forward to playing Play Hoops game coming out. Yeah, Steve Tower was showing that off, right? Steve Tower was showing off Play Hoops. He played the full game, right? Because that's it's either out or coming out. And I think he played the full game, and I was watching some of that. I think it was at work, and I was watching some of that. So, but I haven't tried the highlight maker hoop, which is the fast version of that. That looked interesting because again, basketball, that's just like football. When you try to play a full play basketball game and you're going possession by possession, it's going to take a long time because there's a lot of possessions. There's a lot of 12 seconds to 24 seconds on the clock. So it's going to take a while. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they handle that. And Jeff says, I tried Ball Stat, but I didn't like it. I'll have to try Digital Diamond. Yeah. Again, that's just Ron uses Digital Diamond. I use Digital Diamond. I know ID likes to use Replay, and some people like to use Strat. I've used Strat before. What I'm probably going to use Strat because I got well, I don't want to give away the season I'm going to do, but it's an older season I'm going to do, and what did I think I picked up electronically in Strat. I picked it up so I can play with Strat. I thought about getting the APA cards for that season so I could play APA on that season. I'm not going to give away which season it is, but Digital Diamond does not have this season, unfortunately. So I couldn't do it in Digital Diamond. But I do have it in Strat, and I did buy the season, so I can either play it in Strat PC or I can play it if I bought it with Apple. I don't know if Strat has the cards for that season. That's interesting. Let me just check right here real quick. If I can get the site to load. There we go. Let's see if they have that. I'm not going to tell you what season it is. But if I go to Strat, card sets by season, let's see if they have that in stock. No, they don't. So I did have to buy it for the PC. So I'd have to play it on the PC. And yeah, like I say, if you need help with Digital Diamond, let me or Ron know because it's a piece of cake. It really is. And when you get Digital Diamond, when you go into the main screen, right at the top, there's this big long banner that says User Guide. Click on that, and that'll go to all the videos that Mark did. And those videos are fantastic because it does some quirky things. All right, Digital Diamond has a couple of quirks, but he walks you through them, and it's a piece of cake. And Randy comes by. Do I like playing fictional teams? Sometimes. Mostly what I do for this hobby is I want to play my childhood heroes and my favorite teams. Okay. So I can't do that if I'm playing fictional. So for me right now, it's about, it's that 75 to 85 wheelhouse for sports, hockey a little bit earlier, but you know what I'm talking about. So for me, it's about those 10 years and playing those teams because I never could play those teams. When you're playing Atari or you're playing television or Nintendo, it was just generic teams. You didn't have anybody. When you get into the Sega games in the mid 90s or early to mid 90s, then you could play some of your favorite guys, from that time. But I could never play 70s hockey or 80s baseball. And Well, now I can, so I want to. So I'm enjoying. Like I say, I bought the 75 football season. I want to play Len Dawson. I want to play Roman Gabriel. So for me, that's what it's about right now. And when you're in the fictional, it's a whole different universe, and you got to kind of buy into that. Now, what's fun about fictional is you don't know who's who, and so you can't make any mistakes because you don't know who's who. So if Jose, Orange Julius is a good player or not, you don't know. So if you put him into the game and take him out of the game, it's not like, oh, why would you do that? Well, because he's unknown. Nobody knows who he is. And you can never pronounce a name wrong either when you get fictional guys. So there are some bonuses and some positives to playing fictional teams. But for me, I do this for the nostalgia is what I like to do. And I did create some fictional teams for Stone Cold Hockey that was fun. Just coming up with the names was a blast because I did some Asian teams. I think I did Japan and North Korea, and it was fun creating those teams and just having Fukushima, and Sarazawa scoring goals. It was just kind of fun, but again, it was just kind of a quick blast, and I enjoyed it. But anything longer term, I'd rather see Gordie Howe score a goal than Sarazawa because I can relate to Gordie Howe. And yes, 12 just come out, and you can get it on Steam. I'm not sure if it's still on sale or not, but even at $25, it's whew. And you're using Excel to keep stats. If there's a way to simplify it, yeah. Well, again, the thing is with Digital Diamond, it'll keep the stats and it'll sim the other games for you if that's what you want. So you can kind of play along, so to speak. So the game will simulate in their engine the other games, so you can see where you are in your games. That's what I like about it. Tom comes by. Hi, Tom. Do you have any thoughts on the franchise mode of MLB The Show? I haven't played MLB The Show in years, and I haven't played too many of the other things either. I physically couldn't do it. And so I think I tried the hockey one time or the football to play the franchise mode. It was okay, but I just couldn't do the gameplay. My coordination with the controller wasn't there anymore, and the joy was lost. And every year I would buy Madden, and every year I would buy NHL, and I would play 2 games, and I wouldn't go back to it. In fact, in the NHL game, I would spend hours designing a team because you can create your own team. I would go over, the color scheme, what kind of gloves and pants and helmets and where the stripes were, and then design the goalie pads and the gloves. And then the rink, you could change the rink and put lights and fog. I would spend hours just designing my team and coming up. I think I had a Boston's Firebird team that was like orange and red, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a Firebird logo on it or something. And it just, you only had stock logos in the game. But I would spend hours doing that. I'd spend more time designing my team than playing my team. And that's the joy I get out of NHL. So, yeah, I didn't play too much of that on the Xbox or the PlayStation. So I can't speak too much for the franchise mode, but I know I didn't play much of it. I didn't play much of it at all, like even the regular season. And Jeff, Digital Diamond, does it let you input stats for batting, pitching, fielding, and break it down for you? Well, with Digital Diamond, what you're doing is you're just inputting the results. So the game has everybody rated, so you can play it in Digital Diamond, but it's got this thing called Board Companion. And when you go to start a game, you check, I'm using the Board Companion. And so what happens is you go into the game, you got your field, your batting lineups, everything here, and you hit pitch. And then a box comes up and says, what happened? So what you're doing is you roll the dice in app and you're like, oh, I got a single. So you hit pitch and you put in 1B. I got a single. Enter. The guy goes to first. Then the next guy comes up. Up, strikeout, pitch, K. Enter. Strikeout. So you're inputting what's happening in the game. So you don't have to worry about ratings or anything like that. If you're playing cards and dice and you're inputting it, all you're doing is you're telling the game what happened on your tabletop. And it works fantastic. It really does. You need to put in a pitcher, go to the bullpen, put in a pitcher, put him in. Pinch hitter, pinch runner, anything like that. You want to walk a guy intentionally, you can walk a guy intentionally. It's whatever's on your tabletop. You're telling the board game companion what happened. So it's kind of like having a secretary, like back in the day. It's like, take this note for me. Yeah, Friday's not good for the meeting. Okay, Friday's not good for the meeting, and it just does it all for you. It's fantastic, And yep, that's what it is. So use the board game companion mode. So when you go to play a game, it'll show you the teams, and kind of in the middle of the screen, kind of at the bottom of the two teams, which is at the top, it says board game companion. And do you want to use the DH? And you said, yep, board game companion. And you're good to go. And you just, it's just like using ball stat. You just input what happened in there. And again, what's great about that is that the other games you can hit fast play and it simulates the game. So now you can play your game and see the standings of all the other teams that are playing around you. And I wish there was a hockey version of that. I wish there was a hockey version so I could play Amper or Hockey Bones or Stone Cold, whatever I want to play, input my hockey stats, and then have the game simulate the other game so I could see how my team's doing. And there's nothing like that right now. And Jeff says, I think MLB The Show is entertaining. The graphics are great, but I find they lack realism and accuracy. That's one thing I don't know about. I really don't know about the stats and the accuracy for that game. I just know it was kind of arcadey, but I imagine, the better players hit better. But it was still, it required a lot of dexterity, and that's what made it kind of tough for me. All right, a couple more questions here, and we'll probably wrap things up tonight. I do have to work a little bit tomorrow, unfortunately. And Larry says, the way I track my stats is holding up my draft in the beginning of this product. It's frustrating. Well, it depends what you're doing. Like I say, if you're just looking to keep stats, I mean, there is the ball stat and the was it eye score or eyeball score or something, and then there's the digital diamond. You can also, again, if you have Strat PC and you have the season or replay baseball, you can input manually into them as well as digital diamond. So there's those three games: digital diamond, replay PC, and Strat PC baseball. All three of those have the ability for you to input stats or input results from the game, and it'll spit all the stats. So it's almost like you're playing Strat, but you're telling it what the results are. So the Strat doesn't care, and replay doesn't care, and digital diamond doesn't care what game you're playing. It's just like, okay, what are the results? Okay, the results are here, and I'm spitting out all the stats for you. It's brilliant. I unless I'm just kind of playing a one-off for some fun, or even whatever I'm doing here. And if I don't care about the stats, if I just want, like, once in a while I'll pull out some teams. I just want to play a game, and I'm not keeping stats. I don't care about anything. I just want to play. I always want to play my cards. I want to get out my match boxes and play with my cards. And I don't use anything. I just kind of play, and I don't keep any stats. But when I'm keeping stats, to me it's digital diamond because I think it does a great job. And Jeff says last PS1 game I played was Triple Play. It was fun, but it was get bored. Yeah, I found that I couldn't play any of the baseball games. I couldn't hit. I would swing at every pitch, and there was one. Was it It was 12. I don't know if it was EA Baseball 12 or Triple Play 12, but it was 2012, and I was able to slow everything down to the slowest setting, and the pitch would come in slow, and I could finally see if I wanted to swing or not, if it was inside, outside, high or low. But when they're coming in so fast, I couldn't do it. I would just swing at every pitch and I just couldn't do it. And so I never played baseball games. I just couldn't do it. And Larry says, can you enter fictional teams and enter their rosters? Yes, I would say yes. And we asked Mark that question on the show, so you might want to go back and listen to that. The thing is, I think he did a video on that too. However, if you don't put in some kind of attributes or stats or ratings, the game can't simulate the other games that you don't play if you follow that, because it has nothing to go on. So if you wanted to put in create a team and create players and then use the board game companion, I think you could do that. I think you definitely have to put in at least what position they play so the game recognizes that. So I think it could do that with the board game companion. But the problem is, like I said, you couldn't simulate any games because there's no ratings. There's no attributes for the players. But I think we did ask him that, and he said there was a way to do that. So if not, send him a message, send him an email. Mark gets back to all the emails really quick. And just say, hey, look, I'd like to do this. Is there a way? And he'll probably send you a link to the video and the whole bit. So, and Tom says, thanks, sweetest Jeff. I believe MLB The Show has a mode where you can just manage. I think I heard that too. You don't actually have to play the game, and let's let the software run the game. I think so, because I think I tried that in Madden. So I'm like, they do have a game called Head Coach that was on the PS2, I think. And I bought that to just coach, and I didn't have a lot of fun with it. But I wanted to do that in Madden, just call the plays. And I think I tried that, and I don't know if it didn't work, or you still had to do something. And I was like, no, I just want to call the play, but I still had to run the quarterback, I think, or something. And I wasn't thrilled about that. So there was something about that I didn't like. But anyway, Jeff, thanks for coming by. Yep, and Larry, he'll be playing all the games on the table. Then you might be able to. Put in the players into Digital Diamond and play. Again, check if you have it. Check the user guide, or send Mark an email, or again, listen to the podcast we did with him, because he did answer that question when we were asking questions. I think it was kind of in the middle, and we asked him about that because there was someone else that asked him about that too, and said, "Can I put in fictional players in teams?" And he kind of said, "Yeah, but." So there's a way to do it, and I just don't remember what it was. But I think there was a way to do it. All righty. So, well, that was fun. So again, tonight we talk a little bit about playing for your health. Oh, where am I out of focus again? There we go. Playing the games and trying to have fun with the games, and having the games help you relax, help you get through tough times. Again, we're kind of all playing these games, but through the magic of the internet, we're all able to talk to each other and share games with each other. Whether it's chats here, or live on YouTube, or Delphi, or Facebook, or wherever it is, and it's really fun connecting with other people that do the same thing that we do, and it's always fun to see people playing some of our favorite games too. And because I know I enjoy that, I enjoy when someone's enjoying a game that I like too. And I like exploring different games, and sometimes someone will play a game that I don't like, and I'll be like, well, why don't I like this game? Let me watch it a little bit more. And then sometimes I come around and say, oh no, it didn't seem too bad. Let me try it again. So, but we have so many games to play, and so many seasons and teams, and it just for me, again, just being real appreciative right now of what I'm able to do, and it's helping me get through some crappy times, And again, it's not miserable, but there's times that just, boy, this knowing I can come downstairs and play something either on the computer, on the tabletop, just to go to a happy place. It's kind of, for me, it's a big part of mental health, and mental health leads to physical health. So anyway, so that is that. So thank you so much. I want to thank some of the people that became members of the channel. I just sparked that up today, and we'll see how that goes. But it just supporting me. That means a lot to me, and it's gonna push me to make some videos and to make some more connections and make the channel even better, and help to grow the hobby in whatever way I can do that. So we will talk to you later. I assume I will talk to you tomorrow, which is Sunday. I do have to work in the morning for a while, but maybe later in the afternoon or at night we'll be back on, and maybe I'll play some. I don't know if I'll play some that 75 app of football, if I want to pull out my Action PC 24 and continue with that, because that's been fun. It's been a nice break from setting up cards and dice is playing the Action PC football. It's just been a ball of fun. It really has been. So anyway, we'll talk to everybody later. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night and bye-bye.